Hi, this is Jonathan Kutsavatsky at NAB 2019. I'm here with Ricardo from Speechmatics in the Dalet MEDIATalks booth. Ricardo, tell us about Speechmatics.
We are a speech recognition or speech-to-text company, converting audio into words to make things searchable, bringing structured to unstructured data as one of the taglines.
There's many companies that do speech-to-text as an AI service. What makes Speechmatics unique?
Lots of things make us unique, to be honest, whether it be the rich history we have within sort of coming out of Cambridge University, the expertise in recurrent neural networks for language modeling and acoustic modeling, our willingness to sort of integrate and work with the open source community. There are many things and it all comes together, but realistically we are just a speech company that is sort of trying to continue to innovate and continue to find as many partners as possible whilst we focus on the really important thing, which is making that best engine possible.
We've been doing a lot of tests with Speechmatics and comparing with other AI engines, and we're noticing the accuracy of Speechmatics is extremely impressive. How are you guys doing this?
I mean, obviously I can't give away every secret we have because then everyone else will be doing it as well. But I guess it's built up over a number of years. One factor is sort of our expertise with the recurrent neural network language modeling and the acoustic modeling. We also just invest a lot in our engineering and innovation team. We're a very lean sales team compared to sort of what is essentially a lot of investment in the R&D and continuing to make what is a great product, and therefore allowing other companies like Dalet to sort of build on top of that and go sort of further into the market.
Statistics-wise, or like numbers, how accurate is Speechmatics when it comes to English or other languages?
It's actually a really tough question to answer because I could upload any file in any type in any acoustic environment, and obviously if you were to take some sort of news recorded article, then you know what, you can get 98, 99%, which is fantastic. But if you're sort of recording something that's multi-accented, sort of on a boat with waves crashing in the background, then you're going to have a lot more challenges. So we don't actually give a specific number per se, but what we've definitely seen in the industry is that sort of anything above 85%, 90% is considered good enough for many use cases, and our customer base is only growing, so we must be hitting that on a regular basis.
Great. So I understand you do global English rather than just accented English. Can you explain this concept to us?
Yeah, so traditionally, and even ourselves previously, we had 3 types of English. So we tended to work for American English, UK English, Australian English, but we actually put a concerted effort in last year to build that into one singular model, meaning that it was an English model that had accents from all over the world in it. We increased the data training corpus enormously, and what that meant is that now we can have conversations where someone with an English accent is talking to someone with an American accent or a French English accent or any accent you like, and you will see better accuracy on that than you would have seen on the individual models. So it means that people have to worry less about who's talking in the conversation, but it also means that we're able to sort of provide better accuracy on a wider range of those accents too.
So you're not detecting that it's Australian English, you're just detecting that it's just English that's spoken, correct?
Yeah, that's right. As in, what we will do is we will take our understanding of what's being said, and then we'll also layer on some heavy language modeling. So while an Australian might say something slightly differently to an English person in terms of the pronunciation, they're probably still going to be using the same sentence format and the same words, and so our language modeling will essentially correct for any inefficiencies that might have occurred from having different accents previously.
So we have many customers around the world, such as Euronews, SBS, Voice of America, for example, that broadcast in multiple languages, and they really want to utilize speech-to-text services such as Speechmatics and Dalet integration. For unique languages like Assyrian from Iraq or Kurdish, how, like, if you don't support this model right now, what's the process in getting that supported?
So it can be quite a quick process, as in we have had, and I'm just trying to remember here, we've had people request Hindi, Korean accented English and things like that from us in the past, and we've actually managed to build out a model in just a couple of weeks. It's just a question of sort of providing us a certain amount of training data, which is audio files with perfect transcripts. Now, it needs to be said that obviously we are a company with limited resources, and we need to sort of plan and sort of do that with its own sort of due diligence. But if the need is there and the opportunity is there, then we can build these languages very quickly for languages that aren't even covered by our company's sort of native language base. So I think the last one we built was Norwegian. We did it in a few weeks. We've got no Norwegian speakers, but we built it. passed it, sent it out to customers, and the feedback's pretty good.
So when a customer, let's say SBS or Euronews, wants a custom language built, is that model theirs or is it a global model for the company?
So the way we want to work is that everything is based around continuous improvement. So we won't give someone a model that is just theirs. Now in the future that might change if there is a particular opportunity for it, whether someone might want to do something on their own premises. But at this point it's sort of, you work with us to build this, we give this access to you first, you get to take that to market. But in general, like everyone else, we want to be making these things as widely available as possible.
Once the model exists and there's a few corrections that need to be done, what's the process in feeding back that information back to Speechmatics to correct it?
So the way we do it is all based around supervised learning. So we do need corrected transcripts in order to train and in order to build on a model. But again, that is something we do. We might build a model based on 500 hours of audio and text, and then rebuild it a few months later with more hours using some slightly more efficient algorithms to increase the accuracy again.
So connecting Dalet to a Speechmatics engine, what should we tell our customers? What's the advantage of doing such a thing?
I mean, there are lots of parts to it. I suppose where we come from is that anywhere where you have, again, that unstructured data, we can bring structure to it. Any text mining, text analysis, topic extraction that your services provide, we can open that up into voice. And if you think how many conversations just go unrecorded or aren't able to be scrutinized or sort of evaluated, we open that out on a huge level, whether it be from from meetings, sports commentary, telephone calls, anything really. It's all about just providing as much insight into something that was previously sort of an opaque asset.
When connecting a system such as Dalet to Speechmatics, what added benefits does a customer get in doing so?
I mean, it really depends on the customer type, to be honest. In terms of, again, it just gives a much deeper insight into what they're doing. I mean, our engine is fairly basic in what it does. We take an audio file, we timestamp it, we provide the transcript, and we give you a confidence score of how right that is. Now, what you can do with that afterwards is sort of very much part of the Dalet platform in that sense. You can all singing or dancing subtitles with topic extractions and keywords and links to everything. But as I say, the reason why we do so well on accuracy is because we focus really hard on making that step that we do, that key crucial part, as good as possible. So by using Speechmatics, they're going to recognize more words, they're going to get better accuracy on it, and ultimately, if you're building on higher quality data, then everything else sort of extends from that.
We're noticing in the results that you're identifying female 1, male 2, etc. when it's speaking. How do you do this? What's this process?
So the process is called speaker separation or diarization. It's genuinely not the thing that we are proudest of in what we do. We're actually working really hard to reinvent that and improve it and bring it into our real-time system as well. So you'll actually be seeing some significant improvements in that going forward. But yeah, that's just based on sort of some of the textual information and some of the audio information, where we try and recognise what traits might be standard in certain speakers and to repeat that within a process. But again, that's actually somewhere where we think we're not good enough and we want to improve things even further.
So in 2019, what improvements have you made to your engine and in working with other companies?
So we had back end of 2018, leading into 2019, we upped our accuracy sort of relatively by about 21%. That was an initial 15% improvement, and then another 6%, which is really visible when you look at it. That's a sort of an improvement that the human eye is able to see. What we're focusing on now is sort of improving some of the accuracy around lower quality audio, so audio that's recorded in more difficult environments. But we're also sort of looking to bring more advanced feature sets into it, so increasing to improve our custom dictionary, potentially offering alternate words as well. So when you listen to an audio file, the engine might output not just the correct word, but other words that might be correct. And this allows you to sort of play around with the data a bit more. And then we'll be taking that further into potential more language model training that can be done just on the customer side as well.
Yeah. So there's certain groups such as medical groups or specific groups like engineering groups that have very specific words that might not mean much to other people. How do these groups train the model or add to your big group of words that Speechmatics understands?
So at this point, we offer them an API, and obviously you offer the API in a far simpler manner than we do. and that enables them to add up to 1,000 words per individual transcript. Now, if you're dealing with something that might be all medical, then you'll probably have a custom list of words that you want to use for that. And what happens is you upload those words. Those words may or may not appear already in our dictionary, but we will increase the likelihood that they are recognized, and therefore you'll be able to up the accuracy on that. Furthermore, we also understand that there are certain sort of acronyms or initialisms which don't get recognized as well, and so we'll also provide a friendly phonetic manner to be able to add those words to the dictionary, but in a sort of it doesn't require a PhD in sort of linguistics to be able to do so.
Can you describe a little bit about the integration between Dalet and Speechmatics? How does this work?
It's actually very, very simple from our end. Dalet will provide us with media files, usually video or audio, and we will provide a JSON transcript, which to the layman like myself sort of looks very boring and very uninteresting. But what it allows you guys to do is sort of take that and either caption it or build it into your sort of your asset management workflow, and then create what becomes a very sort of 3D interactive tool that really brings the video to life.
You mentioned earlier that you've increased your accuracy by a certain amount this year. How are you gauging that accuracy?
Accuracy is a really interesting word and question in the world of speech to text. A lot of people use what's called word error rate, which is sort of the percentage of words correct, sort of over the total number of words, and that works for a lot of people. Some people like to talk about sort of how good a transcript feels, sort of how readable it is. What we know is that in the industry, people say 85 to 90% sort of is when something really becomes useful. And while it's a difficult question to answer, because on the one hand, high quality news audio we're going to get 98, 99% on some of the lower stuff. I mean, on some of the more difficult stuff with sort of waves crashing in the background or sort of a difficult line, we'll get lower down. But what we know is that if you take this 85% as a baseline, more and more people are signing up with us, more and more people are using us, which means that more and more of our audio is getting to that necessary level.
When a media group is considering buying a speech-to-text engine or at least using a service, what are the things they should consider when they're putting together a test compilation of content they need to test, such as two speakers speaking on top of each other and things like that?
It's a very difficult question to answer. What they should do above all is make sure that their test set is representative of their actual audio, because the worst thing will be someone will upload a random YouTube video and it won't be representative of what they actually transcribe. They'll get either better or worse results, and then it won't sort of be reflected on the use case. So above all, I'd say make sure you're using real live files if you can get access to them. And then beyond that, word error rate is a good way to look at it. Readability again is really important. And then you start to look at other features. How many languages are covered here? How do we want to deploy it? Is it going to be something in real time? They're the questions we tend to ask, and the ones that we tend to come up with the right answers with. I'd also say that finally, it's important to think about what kind of relationship you want with the company too. We pride ourselves on sort of being particularly good at partnerships. We're the right size, that we're big enough that everyone trusts we're going to be here, and sort of we are growing and everything's going the right direction. But we're not too big that we won't also listen to your concerns, because with a lot of our partners, we want them to write our roadmap for us. We know what we're doing this year, we know what we're doing vaguely over the next couple of years, but we want to have those regular conversations to know what you need next.
And what are the types of things that you're launching in the coming future?
There's a lot of stuff that is being launched. Real-time sort of the speaker separation. Basically, one of the things we're trying to make sure at the moment is that we have feature parity across everything that we do. We've talked about sort of language model improvements, improved custom dictionaries. They're giving more ability to the end customer or the partner to be able to play with things and make things work for themselves is our next crucial step. At the bottom line, the accuracy is still the most important thing, and we will continue most there. But again, increasing that language base, increasing the deployability, the deployment options, and really sort of bringing out those extra features that are just crucial to the market.
A lot of our customers are asking for either an AI solution on the cloud or an AI solution locally. What are the advantages of both, or disadvantages?
We think there are advantages to both, which is why we offer both. I would say that the majority of our customers doing huge volumes probably tend to prefer it on their own premises, just because there aren't the data ingress or egress charges. they sort of might have some slightly more sensitive stuff that they want to keep close to their chest. But obviously the cloud's very easy to integrate, fast, quick, simple, no difficulty in using it. But on-premise, when stuff becomes more serious and you really need to sort of churn through huge amounts of data, that's when things might become more interesting there. As I say, we support both on purpose for that reason, and it allows us to differentiate from the likes of Google and Amazon and all the big cloud providers.
Can you talk a little bit about the partnership between Dalet and Speechmatics?
Yeah, so it is a recent partnership. We've been speaking for a while, but this year we sat down, we had the conversation. It's like, right, we think you've got a great engine, and we think you've got access to a lot of partners a lot of customers that we're not going to go to directly. We want someone to enhance our core engine and really take that to market. How do we make this work?
Well, I look forward to working with you in the future, and Dalet as a company, because you're bringing accuracy to our metadata that is very impressive. Do you have any further comments to say?
That likewise, that we're really looking forward to this. We hope this partnership grows out, and that we'll be transcribing millions and millions of hours together over the coming years.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.